Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So excited to do today's little tutorial because I feel like it's a little bit different from what I normally show on my channel. I have done probably 1,000,001 dewy skin makeup tutorials over the last decade on my YouTube channel, but I realized that I haven't really done many soft matte or just matte skin makeup tutorials, mainly because if you didn't know, I have dry skin. I really do love the look of a soft matte look, but it's simply just not always the most dry skin friendly. And when I'm wanting something that's going to flatter my skin, I will typically just go more towards the dewy side of the spectrum. However, over the years, I feel like I have kind of figured out how to make soft matte makeup work for me, and I wanted to share with you guys my routine that I like to do and the products that also work really well for me. Even though they're more on like the matte side, they're still very much dry skin friendly. A portion of today's video is also very kindly sponsored by Grown Alchemist. I'm going to share with you guys this really awesome kit. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments and let's get right into it. Let's start off with skincare prep because, as you guys know, I've said this in almost every single one of my makeup videos. If you do not prep your skin properly with skincare, your makeup will just not look as good as it could possibly look. There are two ways that you could prep your skin. You could prep your skin with primers, or you could prep your skin with skincare, or you can do a mixture of both. I really do like primers. There are primers out there that I feel like do a great job of whatever their purpose is. I really do feel like if you prep your skin really well with skincare, you can totally skip a primer. Because if your skin is just properly hydrated, your makeup's gonna last longer and it's also going to just simply look better and sit better. So talking about skincare, I wanted to share with you guys this Grown Alchemist Dewy Skin Set that's now available at Sephora. This kit is so good. It is so many of my favorites and it's really such an awesome kit to start you off, especially if you want a good basic, super hydrating skincare routine. This kit is also a value of $81 and you get it for $35. So that's a savings of $46. Let's open it up. I want to show you guys all the products that you get in here. First, you have the Grown Alchemist Gentle Gel Facial Cleanser. I have gone through bottles and bottles and bottles of this. It's one of my favorite gel-based cleansers, and I really love this because it really makes your skin feel super clean, but it doesn't make it feel dry. You also get a Hydro Repair Day Cream in here. This is one of my favorite daily moisturizers. I've spoken about it before on my channel. It's a beautiful, very hydrating moisturizer that doesn't leave the skin too greasy. I especially really do love this for before makeup. You also have an instant smoothing serum in here, which is a beautiful hyaluronic acid based serum. And last but not least, another one of my favorite Grown Alchemist products, and such a perfect size too. This is the hand cream in vanilla orange peel. I'm gonna put it on right now. It smells so good. It's vanilla orange, so it's a creamsicle lover's dream. It's actually a perfect size to throw in a bag. All these products are just wonderful to help support a healthy skin barrier and to keep your skin nice and hydrated from your hands to your face. Okay, so I'm gonna start off this look by applying a pretty generous layer of moisturizer, and I'm gonna be using the Grown Alchemist Hydro Repair Day Cream. I'm gonna zoom you guys in up close and personal so you can really get a good look at my skin. I am using quite a hefty amount of this moisturizer. Like I said, this is not a super greasy moisturizer, so even though it's ultra hydrating and it feels really nourishing on the skin, it's not going to make the makeup slip off of the face. I think it's important to remember that even though we're trying to create like a really hydrated base, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to go towards the most like heavy, greasy moisturizer, because even though that might give you like a lot of hydration, it will likely not sit very well underneath makeup. You really want something that's balanced. Let's make sure I don't have moisturizer somewhere in my hair. Every time I put moisturizer on in a video, when I'm editing it, yep, there she is. I'm screaming at myself because I'm like, Jamie, you have moisturizer all over your hair and you will not know that for the entire video. It's pretty infuriating for editing, Jamie. Now, a soft matte foundation that isn't too drying or too cakey does exist. There are plenty out there that do just that. It's really all about testing them out and seeing what works best for your skin type. I have been really enjoying this one from Laura Mercier. This is the Weightless Perfecting Foundation. I find the key to finding soft matte foundations that are also dry skin friendly are trying to look for foundations that are very lightweight in texture and almost serum-like. You don't want something that's too thick or too heavy. Also, having something that has some good amount of coverage to it, because especially if you are looking for some coverage, you don't want to have to over apply the product. The more product you apply to your face, the more likely you will end up looking cakey and dry. Little product as possible is key, so finding a high coverage serum like soft matte foundation is going to be your best bet. And this really is exactly that. I really enjoyed this product. I'm going to be using the shade 2N1, which is a pretty good match for me. And I'm going to start off with a pretty small amount, just about that much. And I am going to be applying this with a sponge. A damp beauty sponge is really your best friend, especially if you have dry skin. Using a brush can definitely work, but I find sometimes brushes can kind of not help the attaching to the dry patch situation because there's obviously bristles to a foundation brush and you're going to be like spreading it onto your face, especially if you do have texture on your skin. I find that this type of motion and really like spreading the product onto the skin with bristles, it's not going to help the situation. And a damp sponge I find really does create a much more flattering application because you're pressing the product into the skin. And that little bit of hydration that's in the sponge also kind of adds a little bit extra hydration into the foundation as well. So I'm picking up the product directly from my hand to the sponge rather than applying it on my face and then blending it out, just to kind of keep everything really, really lightweight. By applying the product directly to the sponge rather than on my face and then blending it out with the sponge, a lot of the product is actually going to be absorbed into the sponge. And so I'm applying such a small amount, and it just allows me also a little bit more control so that I'm not over applying. I really do love a soft matte finish because I find that even though a dewy finish can be so beautiful, a soft matte finish can just make the skin look so perfected and almost like doll-like. And I find also for events, a soft matte finish can be way more flattering and easier to photograph because it's not as shiny. And my eczema has kind of flared back up. I'm really not sure why, but it's back on my upper lip. It's like kind of just in this general area. And right now, even as I'm applying the foundation, you can still see it because hiding texture is almost impossible, but it's really not accentuated. And it's working with the foundation rather than working against it, which is the key. For concealers, I'm going to be using two different concealers. The Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer for underneath my eyes and the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer for around my face for extra coverage where I want it. So for underneath the eyes, I do like a little bit more hydration. While the NARS Soft Matte Concealer does look beautiful underneath the eyes, and I actually use it underneath my eyes quite often, I really like the Ilia Serum Concealer because I find that it's a really balanced concealer. It really is not too dewy. It's not too matte. It's kind of right in the middle. It always looks flattering, and it's been one of my go-tos for that reason. So I'm gonna put just a very small amount, inner corner and on the outer corner. And again, blend it with my sponge. Now, when it comes to the soft matte concealer, I will not go in with a sponge. I actually don't find that a sponge and this concealer work very well together. I definitely prefer using a small fluffy brush. And the reason why I'm using this concealer rather than the Ilia concealer around my face is because this is going to match the texture and the finish of the foundation a lot better. So this is the Lunar Beauty number 04 brush. And I'm just taking a little bit of the product. I'm using the shade Light 2.3. And then I'm just lightly running the brush on top of the areas of my face where I want just a little bit more coverage. Honestly, the foundation did a pretty good job, but I always like to put a little bit more on my chin, around my nose. Now with powder, I am definitely not going to be putting powder everywhere. I find that when I use a soft matte foundation, I typically don't really need that much powder because the foundation kind of sets itself, but I almost always like to put powder underneath my eyes to make sure that it's set. Today I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty Loose Setting Powder. I love this stuff. This one is in the shade Light, and I'm actually going to be using it on my damp sponge. I took a little bit of the powder and I'm really pressing it into the sponge, not too much, but just enough that it's not like falling off of the sponge. And I have a little bit of powder right at the tip, and I'm just very lightly pressing it where I want to set, which is kind of just underneath my eyes. I cannot see any powder residue at all, but it's completely set. Before I go in with my bronzer, my blush, highlight, all of that, I am gonna spray my face. I love, love, love the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 Mist. I also really like the Cali Ray Surf Proof Setting Mist. That's another really nice hydrating mist. Another really great mist is the Youth to the People Adaptogen Soothe and Hydrate Activated Mist. If you've been around on my channel for a while, then you've heard me talk about this mist a million times. I'm not going to use this shade because I think that this is expired, but it is a really beautiful, very hydrating mist. And this used to be such a staple. I kind of want to rebuy this, perhaps during the Sephora VIB event. Put that as a little mental note. For today, I'm just gonna spray the Rare Beauty 4-in-1 Mist. A setting spray is always gonna add a little bit of hydration. It's also gonna help with any heaviness. The soft matte theme does continue throughout the rest of the makeup. Now, as you guys know, I love creams, and just because I'm going for a soft matte finish doesn't mean I need to forego my creams, because there are plenty of creams out there that are not dewy at all and that also give more of a soft matte finish. This bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury, the Beautiful Skin Sun-Kissed Glow Bronzer, is just that. When I first tried this, I actually really did not like this product. I may have even spoken poorly about it in a past video, but I feel like this has found its place in my makeup routine, and I feel like that often happens. If there's a product that I wouldn't typically go for on like a day-to-day basis, sometimes I'll write it off really quickly, but then I'll kind of realize where it actually does fit in my routine, and this is a great example of that. So I'm gonna apply this again with my sponge. The powder that I applied was at the tip, so I don't have to worry about like cross-contaminating powder with cream. So we're gonna take the butt of the Beauty Blender and kind of just like smear it in this compact. And I'm just gonna pat it where I normally bronze. So cheekbone, forehead. And I'm using the shade One Fair, which is a bit more of like a cool toned bronzer color. For blush, I'm going to use this Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek in the shade Work. And typically with these, I actually like to apply it to the back of my hand and then go in with either a sponge or a brush and apply it to my cheeks, because it is slightly more on like the matte side. Sometimes I find that it kind of picks up the foundation if I just go in directly to my cheek. I'm just gonna take a little brush. This is a Fenty Beauty 195. I'm gonna pick up the cream and then just pat it on the cheeks. It's a little bit of an annoying extra step, but it's necessary. That is going to be my base for my blush, but I am going to put a powder on top. I know that these Dior blushes have been so trendy and everybody talks about them, and you're probably sick of hearing about them, but they really are so good. They are powder, and there's no shimmer in them whatsoever, so you're still gonna get a matte finish. But even though there's no shimmer, I still find that it looks very skin-like because there is a little bit of like a sheen to it. These are called the Rosy Glow blushes because they have a natural, healthy glow effect. I almost always like to go in with more than one blush. It's just my preference. I like a really blushy look too. And tell me that didn't just like make the look so much better. It's so pretty. Oh, and the color that I'm using is Rosewood, which is one of the newer ones, and it's gorge and really matches and complements that Milk Work color perfectly. I'm also gonna put a little bit on the bridge of my nose. I actually almost never apply highlighter. The only time I go in with a highlighter is if I am doing this type of look, because I find that when I have like a super glowy foundation and everything is just glowy, I don't need even more glow with a highlighter. But for a look like this, a highlighter I find is a really nice touch. I'm actually gonna use the Glossier Halo Scope. It's been a while since I've used this. This one's in the shade Quartz. These are pretty because they're just very glossy, not too shimmery, not too crazy. And that's kind of what I want. I don't want like an ultra intense glow. I just find that something softer creates more of like a cohesive look overall. Now that all of my color products on my face have been applied, I'm going to spray my face again with the Rare Beauty 4-in-1 Mist. Zoom you in a little bit more because we're going to be doing the eyes. As you guys know, I love a good one color look. They're easy, they're simple, and there are so many beautiful soft matte options out there. You can just throw on a matte powder eyeshadow, you'll be good to go, and very on theme with the rest of the look. One of my favorite soft matte products are the Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. They're just really easy to work with. They blend beautifully. They come in so many beautiful colors. This color, called Cobblestone, is a new color that I've been wanting to try out. So I'm just gonna put this all over my lid. It's a nice everyday smoky-ish shade. And these are great too because you don't need to set it down with a powder. They will self-set and they will not move. For the lips, there are so many soft matte lip products that I really love. The NARS Air Matte Lip Color was the first one that I thought of. Very similar formula to that is the Kaja Love Swipe. Both of these are very like moussey formula, not drying at all. And they feel very soft on the lips and they're just really easy to wear, especially for a matte lip product. For something super long wearing, these L'Oreal Matte Resistance lipsticks are beautiful. This is essentially like a liquid lipstick. The MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks are so good, come in so many beautiful colors. They're also a traditional bullet lipstick. And then the one that I'm gonna apply today is the Rare Beauty Matte Lip cream. I can't read it. The writing on these things are so small. This is more in line with like the Kaja and the NARS. So it has that really nice moussey texture. It's very lightweight, very easy to wear. I'm first gonna line my lips with the shade Chestnut from MAC. Okay, and then the Rare Beauty shade is Fearless. This is a really good fall color. It's like a chocolatey brown. And there you have the finished look. You can actually see a little bit of glow coming through my skin. It's not dew, but it's just natural glow. That glow is from the moisturizer that I put on. If I did not put on that moisturizer, there would be no glow happening at all. And that's why everything is sitting so well. None of my dry patches are accentuated. I'll zoom you in real close so you can see. Even my eczema over here looks pretty good. Just this combo of products is beautiful. Oh, I just realized I forgot to do my brows. Yeah, it's fine. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts on everything that I used today in the comments down below. And if you have any tips that you want to add to this conversation, please add them in the comments. I think it would be really interesting to hear what you guys have to say. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's video, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And once again, thank you so much to Grown Alchemist for sponsoring a portion of today's video. It's always wonderful to partner up with brands that I absolutely adore. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.